Now first, I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year and thank you for sticking with me for the last 3 years. You guys are awesome and stay awesome throughout the next year as well. I personally can't believe that this game has been out for almost 3 years now. I mean, technically over 3 years if we count the alpha and the beta test in 2019. But overall, it's been an amazing journey so far. We have achieved a lot and I believe the next year will be very fun in EVE. I'm very excited for the new cruisers, new frigates. I mean, we can already guess that the tier 2 ships from EVE Online will arrive sometime in the next year, at least that's what I'm personally guessing here. But today I will do a compilation of the best fights and best kills, as well as the best moments that I've had in this game in the last year, or well, in this year technically. It's still not 2023, but it will be in couple days. So with that being said, go grab some popcorn, go grab a drink, beer, you know, wine or whatever you prefer, and lay back because we're about to dive in the best kills that we had in 2022. Well then, with that being said, hope that you enjoy and let's start. Right, well, what do we have here? Krios on gate. Interesting. Well then, Krios got hit real hard there. Almost got destroyed in one hit. Okay, Magnet jumped in. That will be the next target. Oh, interesting. We might have a new challenger approaching. Let me unlock the targets. Oh, alright. Chimera has jumped in. The Chimera has aggressed. Okay. Time to test out the Chimera's DPS. This is about to be fun. I see that the fighters have been released. Not quite sure what the fighters are doing. I'm taking some weird damage there, not quite sure what's hitting me. The Chimera has 3 Nosferatus, 3 large Nosferatu. Capital Nosferatu has not been released yet. Alright, now the fighters are doing some damage on my shield. The DPS doesn't look to be that dangerous. About to see how much damage it will do on my armor. Okay, it looks like my armor is holding with dual armor repairs. They are doing very little damage. Well then, I believe it will be time to start opening fire. Alright, it should be safe, although I'm shooting a carrier. Nothing safe about that. This gate is kinda in the way. I need to get within the web and point range on the Chimera. Okay, Chimera has been webbed and pointed. I'll just quickly orbit around a little bit. We'll have to go around the gate. My lasers are not doing too much damage. It would look like the carrier has a lot of resistance. Chimera is primarily a shield tank carrier. Very powerful shields. The gate is not blocking my line of sight anymore. That means I can go behind it. Chimera is using active shield tank. They are approaching the gate slowly, and I believe they are very close to jumping, so I will have to go and ram the target. The thing that I've been doing quite often lately. I have been ramming ships left and right, and this time I'm going to ram a carrier. I would say they have dual capital shield boosters. Most likely also using capacitor batteries. Yep, the gate is quite close. I believe they are very close to jumping. Okay, Chimera has been rammed. Let's repeat the process. Did move them a little bit from the original position, although haven't moved it enough, so have to ram the Chimera a couple times. They have launched fighters. They're using me as a capacitor battery, although capital modules use a lot of capacitor, so large Nosferatus are not going to be enough to sustain the modules on the capital ship. Okay, let's repeat the ramming process. The whole crew is ramming the Chimera. Very interesting. The shield tank on the Chimera holding quite well so far. Not quite sure how much my Nosferatus neutralizers are working on emptying the capacitor. They should work. It's a Bhaalgorn after all. We have several battleships aggressively ramming the Chimera away from the gate, and so far with good results. The Chimera should be around 13 kilometers away from the gate at this moment. Well, the combined mass of a couple battleships are enough to push this capital ship away from the gate. Yep, they are definitely unable to jump at this moment. Chimera at 50% shield. It is slowly going down. They still have capacitor. They have been scrambled, they have been webbed, the shield slowly fading away. They are 13 kilometers away from the gate, unable to jump, unable to use the jump drive. Chimera now into armor. I believe they also lost capacitor. At the moment they're definitely using capacitor batteries to boost shield, but the armor has been penetrated. Now they are taking cold damage. The Chimera is slowly going down. A little bit of hull left. And the Chimera has been destroyed. Well, enjoy the firework. This is going to be a beautiful explosion. Great work to everyone who participated at shooting down this Chimera. Was a very nice catch. And great teamwork as well. Fantastic response time. Basically everyone logged in the second I have sent out the ping. Let's take a look at that wreck. Well, that looks interesting. Well, capital wrecks are usually looking very good. The last one was the freighter that has been destroyed on this very gate, and now this Chimera has been destroyed on this very gate as well. Very interesting. Overall, that was a nice fight. Surprised at the tank on. Let's blow up some ships, and today we will start with the special ship that I was talking about. This is a Nestor, one of the rarest ships that you will encounter in this game. And my initial reaction in the chat was quite hilarious. Now, when this pilot came in system, I jokingly said, well, what if this guy is a Nestor? And, well, to my shock, it was actually a bloody Nestor popping in. Now, how did I know that this pilot was a Nestor? I remember seeing screenshots. This pilot is a PvP pilot, if I can recall, and I've heard that this Nestor is actively being used in PvP, so I jokingly said that this might be a Nestor, and well, to our surprise, it actually is a Nestor. Now, based on the damage that I was doing on the armor, this Nestor was quite tanky, which means they probably used a pretty solid build. And well, there goes the Nestor. And you already expect a pretty juicy kill. After all, this is a faction battleship. 19.5 billion. Now, this is a pretty solid kill. And I would also like to say that this is also a pretty solid build. A passive tank Nestor in a fleet. This thing is really scary. Now, the Nestor that I did show you a while ago does use integration modules, which do improve the tank. The first target for today will be a Bhaalgorn. My Daredevil alt already on the way to web the target. The Bhaalgorn already into armor. Okay, the Bhaalgorn now into 35% armor. And the Bhaalgorn is destroyed. Okay, very nice. Very nice start. Now, where is the wreck? There is the wreck. Let me go and loot, because a Bhaalgorn is usually quite expensive and there is a lot of salt in local, so not really sure what kind of kill this Bhaalgorn was, but there is a big chance that we have a pretty expensive kill here. No cargo hold left. Well, that's typical. 533 million. the Bhaalgorn dropped 2 predator webs, which is very nice. Okay, so I guess I'll have to go and dock to unload the loot. And while the Daredevil is warping, let's take a look at the kill. 15.2 billion. You know, I did not expect to beat my own record in the same week, but I guess it happened. First, the 15 billion capital ship, it was a freighter I believe, and now a 15.2 billion Bhaalgorn. Well, very nice. And this Bhaalgorn is also red, which means that I'll be paid for shooting down this ship. And honestly, having extra ISK is always nice. The loot drops could be better, but I'm not going to complain much. Basically, going to get paid for the kill mail and going to get paid for the loot, which is a very good combination already. Okay, let me unload the Daredevil, move to item hangar. I have a lot of stuff in this. The first target for today is going to be a capital ship. Now this does not happen that often. We have destroyed about 4 or 5 other capital ships on this gate, so having a capital ship jump in is a very pleasant surprise. Now let me quickly go and ping Discord just in case this ship is a bait. Okay. Everyone has been pinged. Now I can put the Discord window down. Okay, now the Discord window is down. So I'm doing some good alpha damage on this capital ship. And it looks like this pilot has some good freighter skills, because they are taking some... it takes some time to go through the shield of this ship. I remember last time when one of these ships came in, they didn't take this long to reach armor, but this one does seem to have some good skills for this ship. Now I have some tracking disruptors. I have basically all of my modules, all of my EWAR modules on this ship, because why not? Although kind of pointless to have a tracking disruptor on a freighter because they don't have any turrets. The Daredevil webs keep the Charon webbed, and I don't think that they are going to be moving at a high velocity at all. After all, 3 Daredevil webs are quite strong, and I believe they are moving at 1 or 0 meters per second. They can rotate their ship, but I don't believe that they can move, so this should be a pretty good target. Not really sure what the pilot is trying to do, or an even better question, not really sure why the pilot is in this system. Someone messed up the autopilot, I assume. Now the freighter is in 50% hull. I'm doing some good alpha damage. So far I think I did about 47,000 damage. One more hit and the freighter will be destroyed. Cannot wait to see the explosion. Should be pretty glorious. Or not. Okay, well I guess the freighter got snapped in half over here. And well, the freighter is destroyed. This was a capital ship. Okay, well unfortunately my Concord Pass has been done for a while now, but let's take a look at the kill of 15 billion. And this freighter had a lot of stuff in the cargo hold. Unfortunately, it's not loaded as much as I thought it could be, but I'm not going to complain. After all, this is a capital ship, and not every day that a capital ship just happens to stroll in our home system. Well, and here you can take a look at the wreck. Does look very nice. I like the wreck design of the capital ships. The freighter got snapped in half, basically. overall a solid kill, one of my best kills to date. And a very nice start to the video. Today is going to be a very nice day with the implants might actually be nerfed by the time I buy them, but we will see what will happen. Now, the first target for today, well, we had a space span in the mission, but they have logged out and the ship did warp in space. We were pretty quick to scan the space span and the space span is tackled. Well then, let's quickly engage the space span. They were already losing shield, now the space span is in armor. By the looks of it, the space span has the Ascension nanocore, but we will see the details of the build very soon. And the space span has been destroyed. This is my second space span kill with this exact ship. Okay, let's take a look at the ship. This is definitely the Ascension nanocore. And one fun fact, if you log out from the game and your ship warps, if your ship is destroyed, then the destroyed ship will be present on the grid, but once you log in, it will basically explode as you log in, which is a very fun thing that happens in the game. Well then, let's take a look at my own ship. Okay, now let me show you the kill. A very tasty 14 billion space span. Now I have to say, this is a little weird build. This is definitely not how I would build a space span. Triple Nosferatus seem to be a little bit unnecessary, because the space span can easily orbit and speed tank in the encounter and storyline missions with the afterburn or micro warp drive. Ships we destroy today. Alright, so I am warping to the gate, basically going to the optimal and closest warping to the first target. Now, I said that it is a special target, and we have a space span. We have a Barghest. Okay, well, with shaky hands I clicked on the warp, so hopefully I get lucky with the warping, hopefully I get lucky with the tackle. Now, because that's a space span and most likely a space span with a lot of stabs, I have equipped quad scramblers to ensure that the space span ain't going anywhere. So now the only thing that I have to do is tackle the ship. Well, this should be fun. There is the space span, it has the Ascension nanocore, a DPS nanocore, excellent warping. Space span has been scrambled and the space span has been tackled. Okay, now it looks like this space span has a good shield tank, so I will proceed to ram the space span. The space span is at around 50% shield. Slowly going down. Now the space span is shooting at me. It looks like the Barghest is using rapid missiles. They have been rammed, damage control has been activated. Now I have 18 seconds of pretty good resistances. The space span has lost the shield. Now the space span is into armor. They are now into hull. I am at 47% shield. And the space span has been destroyed. Excellent. And I think we got some pretty good loot as well. Let me warp away to the asteroid belt, just to be safe.
Warp drive active.
Okay, let's take a look at the kill, but first let me align myself somewhere in space. So this was my first Barghest kill, and these things are actually quite expensive, so I'm very curious to see how much this thing costed. 12.5 billion, well, not bad, pretty good kill. They did use rapid missiles, a shield tank Barghest, dual webs, a scrambler, Nosferatu, and target painter. Well, that's a very interesting build. And no warp core optimizers. That is surprising. I expected at least 9 points of stabs on the space band. Hangar that needs to be transported to my main account to be sold on the market. Next target, we have one Vindicator. Daredevil on the way to web the Vindicator. Webbed the Vindicator already into hole, and the Vindicator is destroyed. Nice. The second faction battleship for today. Let me check out the wreck. My cargo already kind of full, so 9.3 billion. Well, I guess it's the Christmas present for us. This is being recorded on Christmas, by the way. All of the kills that you will see here are probably going to be recorded on the same day, so overall a good start. And of course my car. What do we have here? Dominic's 2 has just popped out of nowhere. Let's go and quickly point and web them. That Dominic's appears to be going fast, so I might have to go and ram the ship in case they are burning towards the gate. Just in case I point them a little bit too late. Well, not point them, but web them. Looks like I did web them just a little bit too late. I have to go and ram them away from the gate. Hopefully I have enough momentum going to push them a couple kilometers from the gate. Okay, ramming has been successful. This is one very tanky Dominic's 2, and they also have engaged our ships. Let me quickly take range again, and then I can ram them a second time. I mean, they already have the criminal timer, so they can't jump through the gate even if they go towards the gate. But just in case, I will ram the Dominics again. They are now in hole. Okay, nice. Second successful ram. They are now in 50% hole. That is very close to the gate. I believe they might be within jump range, but they had aggro. And oh man, that was one very expensive Dominic's. 8.8 billion. Well, haven't expected that. That was a pleasant surprise. A very pleasant surprise. A very nice work to everyone who helped shooting down that Dominic's. Was a beautiful kill. Oh well. Was a very nice kill. Next target, we have a Machariel. Second faction battleship for today. One web and 3 gyro stabilizers.
Warp drive active.
Basically the normal build that I use on the Machariel. This is not the Barghest. I planned to fly the Barghest. I almost called the Machariel the Barghest. Very interesting. Alright, there's the Machariel. Excellent warping right in the Scrambler optimal range. Machariel has been tackled. Looks like this Machariel also has a shield tank. Let me go and approach the target. Damage control is active. They have one neutralizer, one Nosferatu and one web. My apologies, dual webs. And this Machariel also has pretty good DPS, so let me align myself on time. My ship adds 32% shield, the other Machariel adds also 20 to 30% shield. Both of our ships are now into armor. However, the other Machariel's armor is going down faster. I am now into low armor. And the Machariel has been destroyed. Nice. Okay, let me loot the wreck and let's warp away because I am at 13% armor. As you can see, a tank Machariel still can have some pretty scary DPS. And that was a very nice target. And those pirate ships have scratched my hull. Alright, well, that's interesting. I am left at barely any armor and my hull has been scratched. Well, let me warp to the asteroid belt to wait out the criminal timer. After the criminal timer I will have to repair the armor. 4.3 billion, not bad, a solid kill.
Active.
This was a tank Machariel. Overall very interesting. I will align my... So basically I would use batteries and a afterburner or micro overdrive with a lot of points and webs just in case the ship gets jumped. Okay, well let's go to the next target. We have one Bhaalgorn and we have one Raven. Now both of the ships were inside of the mission. So I will go to tackle the most expensive one that will be in the mission, which is the Bhaalgorn. Since the Machariel can warp like a cruiser, it's perfect for tackling targets, and this Bhaalgorn is webbed, so they will not warp away that quickly. Okay, Bhaalgorn has been scrambled, webbed, and now let's quickly shoot it down. Looks like this Bhaalgorn is not that tanky. Easily going through the armor of that ship. The Bhaalgorn is in low hull and the Bhaalgorn has been destroyed. Excellent. I lost one drone. The Bhaalgorn did not like my drones, but it's okay. Not really sure why they went after my drone. In any case, that was a nice kill. Let me burn away from the mission and let me show you the kill. $6.9 billion, not bad, almost 7 billion. A pretty solid kill for a Bhaalgorn. This was a DPS built Bhaalgorn, and unfortunately revelation. And I almost have achieved my goal with over 1,000 kills. Next target we have one Machariel. Let me quickly go and send my alt to web the Machariel just so that I can hit this ship. Now Machariel can be a very hard to hit ship if you are using a capital ship because it's fast. It has a very small signature radius for a battleship. So webbing the Machariel is going to be a very smart thing to do. They have been webbed. I have my tracking disruptors on the battleship so that they can't hit any of our ships. The Machariel is in hull. One more hit should do the job. And the Machariel is destroyed. The Concord Pass got reset, so I did set some missions to be active, and well, I believe I just done my Concord Pass with this kill. Okay, let's take a look at the kill. 3.8 billion. Very nice, an armor tank Machariel. Surprisingly, this Machariel did not have any warp core stabs. This is something very rare, and this Machariel did not have any nanocore, which is not a big deal because I also use ships without nanocores. I actually reprocessed a lot of my old nanocores that I don't use, even some upgraded ones, because, well, I have no use for them. Next target, we have one rattlesnake. This rattlesnake also doesn't seem to have a lot of nanocore stuff going on. However, this rattlesnake did have a lot of shield, so I expect a passive shield tank out of this ship. The rattlesnake is into low armor and the rattlesnake is destroyed. Nice. The value on the rattlesnake has been reduced significantly. It used to be like 11 billion, now it's like 2 billion. Basically, some faction cruisers are more worth than a rattlesnake, which is a little bit hilarious, but that's how things are at the moment. 2.5 billion, a very cheap PvP rattlesnake, a passive shield tank rattlesnake, which is not a bad idea, but you have to add some adaptive shield hardeners just to take advantage of the ship's natural shield. Alright, warping towards the first target. There's the rattlesnake already tackled. I warped at 28 kilometers. I will quickly go towards 38 kilometers, which is the optimal orbiting distance for the Orthrus. It shouldn't go above 43-44 kilometers. We'll maintain orbit around 40-38, depends from the target. Even if they move a little bit, the orbit will be slightly changed, but that's okay. Can easily maintain this orbit without a problem. Rattlesnake slowly losing the shield. Looks like the rattlesnake does not like this Orthrus. I am now the primary target, although the large drones will never be able to catch this ship. They are just too slow, while the Orthrus is a fast little cruiser. This rattlesnake has a very nice skin. This ship actually looks really good. I really like that skin. I actually forgot the name of that skin, but it does look really good on that ship. Rattlesnake now into low armor. They are now into hull. The alpha damage on the Orthrus is actually really good. It is comparable to the alpha damage of a battleship. Rattlesnake in very low hull. And the rattlesnake has been destroyed. Very nice. Let me align myself towards a point in space, and then I'll go to look at the HML. I think the Rattlesnake had faction drones, so that might be a very nice skill. Let me take a look. 5.5 billion, not bad. Faction drones and some ship debris, very nice. That was one very nice kill. Next target we have one Raven. I will go attempt to tackle the Raven, orbit set at 38
Warp
kilometers.
drive active.
I always set the orbit before warping because sometimes I have the wrong orbit and that can lead to some very bad outcomes. For this ship, maintaining the orbit is very important and you really have to keep the optimal distance at all times. I landed at 30 kilometers, okay, that's okay. A little bit close, but still have enough time to go into optimal orbit. They have been tackled. Ship will orbit at around 43 to 38 kilometers, which is okay, well within the optimal range of the disruptors. The Raven is now shooting at me. They are using cruise missiles. Cruise missiles will not do a lot of damage to this ship because it's very fast and the explosion velocity of those missiles are just not enough to do any significant damage on this ship. It's a whole different story if that were a Typhoon. A Typhoon or Typhoon 2 do a lot of damage to a cruiser that's orbiting at this distance with this speed, because the Typhoon has better explosion velocity, which is more important than the raw DPS of the missiles. Raven is into 70-65% shield, slowly going down. It is a very tanky Raven. They are still shooting at me. You can see my capacitor slowly go down. Usually the capacitor before the balance patch was around 70-80% and it was stable, but now since the change it is around 40-50%, which is a little bit low. Does impact the shield booster a lot, and of course the battery change does not help at the tank. Forgot to mention that the afterburner and micro drive were changed as well. They have faster cycle times, which in return does use a little bit more capacitor. So this ship was really nerfed the last balance patch. Not directly nerfed, but yeah, definitely nerfed in a certain way. Nice! That Raven has been destroyed. Was a very nice catch. Let me take a look at the wreck. And now let me loot, and now I will warp out. That was a very nice kill. Now I have to wait out the criminal timer. Now here we have two ships, one Dominic's and one Ferox Guardian. With this ship, with the current build, I think I'm not going to be able to go through the tank of a Guardian, but I will try. Perhaps I can catch the Dominic's once the Guardian warps away. There's the Dominic's. Okay, let me quickly orbit that. Seems like the Ferox is slowly losing shield. I expect the Ferox to be super tanky, but we will see. The shield bubbles have also been changed, so the Ferox cannot warp. And the Dominic's is inside of the bubble, so I'm not going to be doing any damage to the Dominics if I start shooting at the Dominics. The Guardian is slowly losing shield. I expect at least one large shield booster on the Guardian. And of course, the Guardian has a lot of shield resistances. As you can see, my missiles are barely doing any damage, although still doing pretty decent alpha. Dominix has warped out. Okay. Let's see if the Dominix comes back. There is a chance that the Dominix warps outside of the bubble. If that's the case, then I can go and engage the Dominix. They use one tracking disruptor and one target painter. Not quite sure if they use any weapon system. So far I am not taking any damage. Thankfully, that one remaining ship, the one remaining storyline ship, doesn't have a scrambler, doesn't have any webs, so I can safely orbit at this distance. This orbit does throw me close to that ship, so I had to be careful, just in case. But that doesn't look like a elite destroyer, so it doesn't look like a elite battleship, so I should be good. They are slowly boosting shield. You know, there's a chance that they are actually using a medium shield booster or dual medium shield boosters, because I'm not doing too much damage on the shield, although they're not repairing a lot of shield, so it is kind of weird. Oh, and there is the Dominix. Let's see if the Dominix warped outside of the bubble. I think they actually almost did. They almost did. I think they are on the edge of the shield bubble. Let me test that theory out. If the Ferox starts taking damage, then the Dominix is inside of the bubble. So shooting at the Dominix is going to be pointless, so let me just continue shooting at the Ferox Guardian. Dominix has launched large drones. Somehow they're actually faster than my ship. Oh, of course, I forgot the micro updrive. That explains the damage that I was taking. Well, now my shield is taking some damage because I wasn't using the micro updrive on time. Now I have to wait for the drones to be behind me, but it looks like the capacitor battery has turned itself off and the shield is at around 70%. Let me try some manual flying. Ferox has fully recharged its shields. However, I'm not warping away yet. I will still fight with these two ships. Just doing some manual flying, trying to see if those drones are actually very fast. Now this is my chance to go and point the Dominix, because the bubble has warped away 61 kilometers. I need to be within range, but I was a little bit far away. That was my chance to catch the Dominix, but I was a little bit too far away and they warped. Well, that was a nice little fight. Made the mistake where I forgot to turn on the micro updrive. Not quite sure why I have disabled the micro updrive, but it happens. Alright, well, remember the Orthrus kill mail? Well, time to get some revenge. Warping to the
Warp drive active.
location. The Bhaalgorn and the Mordu frigate are both over there. They brought one Raven and one Vexor sniper. So I'm a little bit late to the party. I was on the gate. I think I was actually asleep on the gate, not quite sure, but thankfully I opened my eyes on time. There's the Vexor sniper. We practically warped at the same time, but the Vexor is not the primary target. The primary will be that Bhaalgorn. Now let me go within the optimal range. They have been pointed. Bhaalgorn is in around 65%, 55% armor. The Raven has warped away. The Vexor sniper is still at 100 plus kilometers away from us. Bhaalgorn is in hole now. I'm doing some pretty good alpha damage on the tanky Bhaalgorn. There is the frigate at 1200 kilometers away from us. Bhaalgorn in 40% hull, also repairing armor at the same time, but the tank on that Bhaalgorn has been broken. A little bit of hull left and the Bhaalgorn has been destroyed. Nice! That was a very nice kill. The Garmur has warped in. Let me try to tackle the frigate. Well, we got the Bhaalgorn, that's nice. And I don't have the criminal timer because they had the criminal timer. Now the frigate has actually returned. They have been tackled. They have been webbed and scrambled. I am approaching my optimal range. They are now within the missile range of the Orthrus. First hit, 2,500 damage. That's actually really nice damage on a frigate. They have been pointed. They are in very low hull. And the frigate has been destroyed. Nice. The Orthrus has been avenged. Very quickly, actually. Not bad. Let me take a look at what's inside of the wreck. Should be pretty good. Oh, nice. Some decent modules, and I got Mordu debris. Very nice. I think that's actually my own Mordu debris because I did drop one. Now the first target for today will be a rattlesnake. They have jumped through the gate and have appeared at around 42 kilometers away from me, so that means I have to approach the rattlesnake. This is why I use the micro warp drive on the Bhaalgorn. It's actually not that slow. It can reach other battleships pretty quickly. The rattlesnake now into low shield. I think I will orbit at around 21 or 25 kilometers. That's basically the optimal range on this ship. Distance has been set at 21 kilometers. The rattlesnake now into hull. Looks like they still have some capacitor left. My capacitor at 97%. And the rattlesnake has been destroyed. A very nice first kill for today. And also it was a faction battleship kill. So I think today is going to be a very nice Very nice day. 3.8 billion, not bad, very nice loot. A decent fit, a balance between tank and DPS, but not a build that I would use for low sec or null sec. Okay, now where is that wreck? I think the wreck has already been looted. Next target we have one faction cruiser. This is the second faction ship that jumped through the gate in a row. The Gila is trying to burn away, but that's not going to work that easily. They are now into armor, but they still have some shield left. Now the Gila is at 20 kilometers, but they are going down very quickly. I think they are using one large shield booster. I guess we will find out what the build is on that ship. Let me go and pick up the wreck. 1 billion, not bad. Medium missiles and a solid build, I would say. It was a medium shield booster. Not quite sure how they boosted so much shield with the medium shield booster. Next target, we have one Abaddon. Now, at first I thought that this Abaddon is a bait Abaddon, because most Abaddons that jump through this gate are bait ships. But it looks like this Abaddon might be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Now I will go and ram the Abaddon, because I think they are burning to the gate a little bit too quickly. So in order to prevent them from jumping, I will go and ram the ship. Although I'm pretty sure that they are far away from the gate, but just to be safe. The Abaddon is, after all, a pretty big ship, so it might appear that it's close, but in fact it's actually very far. Okay, that was a very smooth ram. Now let me prepare for the second ram. That means I have to take range. Although I don't think that they'll be able to accelerate fast enough in order to reach the gate on time. But just in case, let me go and prepare for the second ram attempt. So far the Abaddon doesn't seem to be turning around, so that's a good sign. Setting approach to 19 kilometers. The Abaddon is not turning around towards the gate. They have focused on our Vexor sniper, but the Abaddon was destroyed by the Dreadnoughts. A very nice kill. And I would say a very lucky catch. Not that often to see that ship through this gate. Most of them are bait Abaddons that jump in, but this one was a exception. Now let's take a look at the kill. 2.7 billion, not bad, a solid kill, a very tanky Abaddon, active armor repair Abaddon, and I would say decent rigs. Overall, a nice catch. Okay, the wreck has been looted, that's nice. Let's return to the gate. They only had one Nosferatu, so their capacitor was in trouble against one Bhaalgorn. Next target we have one Apocalypse Striker. Now that ship, the Apocalypse Striker, is dangerous, and they can easily shoot down a faction battleship. They have really good DPS, and as you all know, the Apocalypse Striker also has pretty good tracking, even in the siege mode. So I have to make sure that I deplete the capacitor of that ship in a very short time, because they still can easily kill any of our ships. After all, it's one striker battleship. But it looks like this striker battleship did panic, and they did try to burn away from the bubble, but they got scrambled and webbed, so they are not going anywhere, and now they are into hull. It looks like they still have some capacitor left, although the capacitor of the Apocalypse Striker is going low. I will attempt to ram the ship, but I think it's unnecessary. They are already in very low hull and they have been destroyed. Very nice. And some decent loot as well. Okay. Let's approach the gate, and now let me take a look at the kill. 2.7 billion, not bad. Apocalypse Striker with beam lasers, a sniper Apocalypse Striker. So we were safe at our close range distance. Okay, next target we have one faction frigate, the Mordu faction frigate, Garmur. I really love that little ship. I haven't been flying one myself, but I've heard pretty good things about it. The only downside of that little ship is the speed. It's not that fast. And of course, it's not that tanky. But that's something that's unique to Mordu ships. Okay, well, that was a nice catch. Let's take a look at the kill. 843 million. And, well, not bad. I think we got Mordu debris, which is very expensive. An afterburner on the frigate. That's interesting. Usually I run a micro updrive on the Mordu ships. I guess this works as well. Well, today has been very fun. Overall, some pretty good kills, and we made a lot of ISK as well. Next target we have one Dragon 2 Assault Destroyer. No, I did fly the Talvar Assault. I love that ship. Unfortunately, don't have a lot of time to fly it, but the Talvar Assault is pretty good. Now, I forgot to change the approach on 0 on the Bhaalgorn, and unfortunately this Dragon Assault did manage to warp away, but that's okay. I messed up with the approach on this ship. Was set at 21 kilometers, so instead of approaching the target, the ship was actually moving away. Now let me change that. Okay, now it's approach at 0. It happens. I fly like 4 different ships, and all ships have different approach distances. They'll have different orbits, and sometimes I forget to change that. Next target we have one Hyperion. Now I will maintain a 21 to 25 kilometer range from the Hyperion. That's the advantage the Bhaalgorn has over any other ship in the game. The webs, the long range webs, and the Nosferatus make this ship excellent for mid-range combat, which in this case is at 26-25 kilometers. The Hyperion is now into armor. They are using blasters. Blasters at 26 kilometers have barely any effect on any ship, so I should easily be able to tank the blasters at this range for a very long time. Okay, still maintaining range. I would guess that the Hyperion uses around 3 armor repairs, but I feel like the capacitor on the Hyperion is slowly going down. My capacitor is at around 85%. I would guess the capacitor on the Hyperion is at around 20%, maybe a little bit lower. But I feel like the capacitor will be depleted very soon. Hyperion now at around 70%, 75% armor. My capacitor is in fantastic shape, and the armor is also in fantastic shape. Now maybe I should orbit, because right now it would appear that I am a little bit stuck in the gate, but I think everything is under control. Now the capacitor on the Hyperion is definitely empty, but the Hyperion did manage to jump through the gate. Now a little bit later, the Hyperion has returned, and this time I'm prepared to go and web the target on time. There is the Hyperion. Let's quickly approach. Hyperion locked, webbed, and now I will orbit at 21 kilometers, around 21 to 25 or 26 kilometers, depends on the situation. Now I don't think that they have an afterburner. The Hyperion appears to be slow, so at the moment they will not be able to burn to the gate that easily, and this time the capacitor will definitely be depleted very quickly. Hyperion in 75-80% armor. They are still webbed. Now I am at 18 kilometers away from the Hyperion. Time to go towards the optimal range. I'm taking very little damage from the battleship. This Bhaalgorn is built to withstand a lot of DPS, so I should be good. The Hyperion is now at low armor, setting distance at 19 to 20 kilometers. Now I will attempt to go and ram the Hyperion. They are at around, I would say, 9 or 10 kilometers away from the gate, so they can't jump, but just in case. And the Hyperion has been destroyed. Let me take a look at the loot. Very nice. We got a lot of blasters. Let me collect that. And unfortunately my cargo is full. 330 million estimate. Well, I should have emptied my cargo hold when I docked in the station, but that's fine. The rest of the loot will be collected a little bit later. Okay, now let's take a look at the kill. 2.1 billion, not bad. Triple armor repairs. and overall a tank build on the high. The first target for today will be a Vindicator. In this case, I am using my Bhaalgorn as bait because both of our ships are actually very close to the Stargate, so they can easily stop shooting and jump back to low sec. Since I don't want that to happen, I have to wait for more DPS to arrive. Basically, the idea is to shoot down the faction battleship before their aggression timer is out. And I have a pretty good idea how to achieve that. So far everything is going according to plan. They did bite the bait, as you can see, but the Bhaalgorn's tank is pretty good. So they will never go through the armor of this ship. And one little fun fact, I can actually use my lasers, armor repairs, my co-op drive and web without using the Nosferatus and neutralizer, and my capacitor will be stable at around 50-40%. I built this ship to be able to live without the Nosferatus. So basically, my Nosferatus and neutralizers are there to deplete the target's capacitor. Now, because this is a Bhaalgorn, I'm not using the Nosferatus yet. The big boat has arrived, and I did buy as much time as possible, and just as I have predicted, the Vindicator did stop shooting. However, it looks like they have panicked and they forgot to turn off the Nosferatu. So they still have the 60 seconds aggression timer. Now, since the Dreadnought has landed, they are going to be destroyed within the next 30 seconds. Basically, everything went according to plan, and this was a very nice catch. Excellent kill. Now, I could have started to shoot earlier, but they would stop shooting and they would jump through the gate. And since that is something that I did not want to happen, I did play as bait, and as you can see, tactics are working flawlessly so far. Now let's stop the ship and let's take a look at the kill. 3.9 billion, which is a pretty decent price on a Vindicator, although a little fun fact, my rig integrations cost around, I think, 6 or 7 billion, so technically my rig integrations are more worth than that Vindicator, which is a little bit funny. Okay, let's jump back to the good old Revelation. And it looks like we got jumped by a bunch of battlecruisers. Okay, that's a very interesting situation. My primary target will be that Hurricane. One battlecruiser has been destroyed. It looks like that Hurricane is tanky. They survived 2 hits from the Revelation. But they did not survive the third one. So there goes the Hurricane. Let's go after the Prophecy. My apologies, let's go after the... Well, both of them were destroyed at the same time. That was quick. That was a very interesting, not quite sure if they tried to jump us, but not really sure what happened here. Let me take a look at the kills. I got 2 of them, so let's quickly go here. Well, not bad. 353 million was the Hurricane. 147 million was the other Hurricane, 176 million was the Drake, 147 million was the Prophecy. So this was a PvE fleet. That's interesting. Well, I guess they did decide to go through our home system, and that was a very bad idea. Okay, let's go towards the next target. We have one Apocalypse Striker that is holding cloak, waiting for them to appear on the gate. But it seems like they are still holding cloak. Well, 1 minute of waiting. They should appear at any second now. Not really sure what's going on. Oh, there they are. There's the Apocalypse Striker. Okay. And it looks like they have the Blood Raider core. First hit, 41,000. That's a lot of shield, by the way. Second hit, 20,000. The Apocalypse Striker is now into around 40% armor. 40,000 again. They are now on low hull, and the Apocalypse Striker has been destroyed. That was a very nice catch. A very lucky one as well. Now let's take a look at the kill. 2.3 billion, not bad. This Apocalypse Striker was a sniper with 3 webs. That's dangerous. And of course, beam lasers. So, very nice build for missions. Next target we have one rock. Looks like the rock has the Ascension nanocore. And it also looks like this ship has some really good shield resistances. I'm doing 1,800 damage to the shield of this ship. That was some pretty good tank on the shield. I was lucky that I did hit the shield without the modules running. Would be a lot more difficult to shoot down this ship if they did start using the adaptive hardeners immediately after they have decloaked. But that was a nice catch. Let's take a look at the kill. Blasters, okay, 2 billion, not bad. 3 adaptives, 1 reactive and 1 damage control. A very interesting build. Although they didn't have any shield booster or shield extender, so not really sure how that would work. Maybe if they have a logistic cruiser or battlecruiser, then this build can actually work really well. Overall, pretty good resistances on that rock. A very tanky ship. Next target we have one Gila. The first hit missed, which happens. This is the tank build that I run on the Revelation. First hit, 7.2 thousand, deleted the shield of the faction cruiser. And the third hit did destroy the Gila. Well, that was a faction cruiser, so I expect a pretty good kill. Let me take a look. 1.5 billion, not bad. Overall a good looking fit, although I would use a large shield booster on this ship with rapid missile launchers, but I guess a medium shield booster can work as well. Next target we have one tornado. This is also the tank build on the Revelation, so it might take a little bit longer to shoot down battleships. With the DPS build, I think I have around 20,000 DPS. That is with the quad heatsinks. With dual heatsinks I have around, I think, 15,000 DPS, not really sure. But even without the crazy DPS, I still shoot down battleships in couple hits with the Revelation. The alpha damage is really good. 682 million is not bad. Also a full resistance build without a armor repair. They have one group armor repair with one group capacity booster, but no armor repairs on the armor. Next target we have one Dominic's. Still using the tank build on the Revelation. First hit deleted the shield and reached into 60% armor. Now that's a lot of target painters on the Dominic's, and they did open fire, but they couldn't survive two dreadnoughts shooting at the ship. Let's take a look at the kill. Well, not bad. A shield tank Dominic's with capacitor batteries and some DPS added to it as well. Overall, not bad. Next target we have one Raven. Well, that was quick. Reached all the way through hull in the first hit. That doesn't happen that often. This Raven got destroyed super quickly. Let's take a look at the kill. They took only 56,000 damage. Not really sure how that happened, but okay. Oh, some pretty good loot from the Raven and a pretty good kill, 1.1 billion. Which is pretty solid for one tier 9 battleship. Overall, a pretty good loot drop. Waiting for the next target to appear. We have one Armageddon, and this is one good looking Armageddon. Very nice nanocore. First hit 40,000 damage, reached to 50% armor. And second hit did destroy the Armageddon. Well, at least I had some time to admire the nice looking nanocore on that ship. I think it looked really good. 749 million, not bad. Dual aura stabs and a warp core optimizer. They did use the clear sky nanocore. Well, overall I think a good idea, but I would never use the aura stabs on that ship. Next target we have another Armageddon. Let's quickly lock on. This time I have 3 heatsinks, so around 17 to 19,000 DPS. And this is also a pretty good looking ship. And it also was destroyed in 2 hits. Let's take a look at the kill. 1.3 billion, not bad. And overall, a pretty solid loot drop as well. Well, a pretty expensive tier 9 battleship, that's for sure. Target. I think we have another Machariel, not really sure. I guess we will find out very soon. Approach is at 0, orbit at 5 kilometers, and yes, we have another Machariel. Well, let's quickly lock on and tackle the Machariel. They have been scrambled and webbed. That's a lot of Machariels today. They lost shield, now they are into armor. Well, we have 4 Machariels in this mission. And the Machariel has been destroyed. Nice. Well, this is a very nice view. The Machariel does feel like a cruiser sometimes. I think its warp speed and overall micro-overdrive speed makes it really close to cruisers, although don't forget that this is a big battleship. 3.7 billion. This Machariel did use artillery cannons, although I'm not really sure why they were at... Oh, my apologies. They were actually sniping. I thought that they were at 0 from the mission, but it looks like they did snipe because the other pirate ships are at 70 plus kilometers from our ships. Okay, let me warp away and wait out the criminal timer. Alright, waiting for the fleet warp. We have surprisingly another Machariel today. I think this is the 3rd Machariel in this PvP realm. Not really sure why we have so many angel battleships running around, but
warp drive active.
I'm not complaining. I like to destroy big boats. Okay, landing. This is the classic Machariel build that I use. There is the Machariel. Well, there is 2 Machariels or 3 Machariels, depends how you look at things. Let me quickly go and scramble them. They have been scrambled. The Machariel lost shield. Now they are into armor. The Machariel's armor is rapidly going down. They activated the damage control as our DPS has been drastically reduced. And the Machariel has been destroyed. Nice. And also a very nice explosion. Okay, let's warp to the asteroid belt again. And then I can take a look at the kill.
Warp drive active.
$4.5 billion, not bad. Pretty nice loot as well. We got some very expensive Nosferatus from that one Machariel. That's the 2nd or 3rd Vriolika's large Nosferatu for today, which is very nice. Well, looks like it's Machariel party again. Not really sure why there is so many of these ships flying around, but hey, I'm not going to complain. A Machariel is still a faction battleship, and this one looks very nice. I really like the color design of this Machariel. Now here, my alt is offline. Had to plug the device into the charger, so the alt went offline for some reason, but I think I don't need to have the alt online because the Machariel is going towards my ship, so the transversal velocity should be low enough for my turrets to hit, and so far no issues with the tracking. The Machariel is into hull. They are still approaching. They have tracking disruptors on them so that they can't hit any of our ships. And the Machariel is destroyed. A very nice second kill. Second Machariel kill. Or is it the second kill? I actually have no idea how many Machariels I've killed. But one thing is sure, I've killed a lot of Machariels. Now this Machariel was a sniper. Okay, a sniper Machariel. Ask me how much ISK did we make? We made a lot of ISK recently. And it looks like it's going to be better and better. Next we have another Machariel. Now I really like the look on the nanocore design of this Machariel. Really nice design, but unfortunately my job is to destroy ships, so this Machariel has to be destroyed. They have been webbed and the Machariel is destroyed. Okay, let's send the alt to loot the wreck. Now the one issue that I still have with the Daredevil is the low cargo hold. Basically I have to dock the loot multiple times when I loot a big wreck, but it's not a big problem. After all, the gains that I have with the Daredevil are worth the sacrifices. Okay, looted and back around the orbit of the Revelation, and yes, I almost killed my own alt there. If that was a Vigilant, that Vigilant would be dead, because, well, I shoot at my alt very often by accident. That's one thing that might be have rigs, but this was a very nice Aster catch. Next we have one Armageddon 2. Let's quickly engage the Armageddon. Now for a Armageddon, I think both guidance disruptors and tracking disruptors are a valid option, because the Armageddon is a drone boat and they can actually use both. So until you find out what kind of modules they use, it's better to apply both the disruptors and the guidance disruptor as well. And there is a Cynabal just chilling, or there was a Cynabal. They burned back to the gate. I guess they did not want to be part of what's about to happen to this Armageddon. And the Armageddon has been destroyed. That was a pretty solid catch. The Armageddon 2 is a, I would say, a rare ship. I don't see a lot of them flying around, so always nice to shoot down something that's a little bit more rare. The loot doesn't seem to be that impressive. Let's see if the Cynabal comes back. Okay, 2.1 billion Armageddon kill. A very weird build indeed. I expected to have some high slot modules, but unfortunately they didn't have. Oh, look, the Cynabal is back. Well, I guess they are outside of the bubble, so yeah, chasing makes no sense. I was busy looking at the job done, and of course I absolutely love this ship. Well then, on to the targets. First target for today will be this Apocalypse Striker. That was very unfortunate to land. Now a little bit of a fun backstory. I was AFK and my corp mate actually tried to wake me up. Thankfully I came on time, because this Apocalypse has some teeth, as you can see. They made me their primary target. The Apocalypse Striker is, I believe, the only battleship that I have to be careful around in a Bhaalgorn. Thankfully, I am going to maintain range. The repairers are going to be working quite well on the armor there, so I don't have to worry about that ship. They're also in siege mode, so as long as I move, I should be good at avoiding a big chunk of the damage from that Apocalypse. I'm orbiting at 29 kilometers here, 25, and the siege mode is not going to be that effective if I am a moving target. So I am forcing them to turn off the siege mode, which they did, and you can definitely notice that they are hitting me, but the damage is not that impressive, and I can keep up with my dual armor repairers without a problem. The apocalypse is going down. Thankfully, the capacitor on the apocalypse is also depleted very quickly, and like I said, they are using dual, like I've mentioned it a couple of videos ago, dual capacitor batteries are basically the only thing that can save you against a Blood Raider ship. And this Apocalypse Striker had dual large capacitor batteries, which you could definitely notice. They were shooting at me despite their capacitor being 0. And that was a nice kill. That was a nice Apocalypse Striker. Let's now approach the gate. My armor has been fully repaired. That's good. Next target, we have a Maelstrom. Well, looks like today we are going to be shooting down a lot of tier 10 battleships. Now, someone in the last video, I believe, mentioned something about me fighting a Bhaalgorn with the Maelstrom. Well, I am fighting a Maelstrom with a Bhaalgorn. I believe that's almost the same. It's very close. It would look like this ship doesn't have any nanocore installed, or they are just not showing them. Oh, okay. I pull my words back. They have a nanocore. Should be a pretty good kill. I hope that it is a good kill. Oh, always fun to see these tier 10 battleships blown up. Because, well, they have pretty scary bonuses, and they are also pretty good ships. The build that I have for the Maelstrom is pretty good. Of course, I'm not the original designer of that build. All the credits go to my corp mates who flew the Maelstrom before I did. Alright, let's take a look at what's inside. That's pretty good. We have some turrets, some gyro stabilizers. Well, not bad. I'll just loot that, because why not? And that was a nice kill as well. Second tier 10 battleship for today. Well then, let's approach the gate. You never know what can happen. Alright, well, on to the dreadnought part that I've said. Well, as we can see, we have the usual syndicate assault happening. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. This happens every day, to the point where I'm used to having 15 ships shooting at me. Now, at first, I was just, you know, approaching the gate, playing around with the build, with the tank, testing out how much damage I can take. And so far, looks like everything is, you know, going according to plan. Although this gate is way too much in the way of my camera. And I don't feel like zooming out, because I like to see this ship getting shot by thousands of turrets. And little fun fact, there is the capital, and I haven't noticed it. I was still, you know, just minding my own business at the gate, you know, just looking around, and I noticed something, you know, feeling a little bit different here. I started to take a little bit more damage than usual. Of course, nothing too spectacular. This is my build that I use when I'm camping the gate. And here I'm preparing to jump out, thinking about what did go wrong. I was very confused at first. What's doing so much damage to me, you know? And I haven't even noticed the dreadnought over there before I watched the video again. And this was recorded before I changed the rigs to improve basically the. And here is our incoming fleet. There is 10 in local. Primary target is Bellicose 3. They have been pointed, webbed. The capacitor on the Bellicose is probably depleted. The secondary target is going to be Nereus 2. I'm very curious to see what's inside of that ship. My sixth sense is telling me that the Nereus is carrying some nice stuff. Oh, we have a interceptor trying to do something. Well, I have a good old web for the interceptor, and I have two very hungry Nosferatus. Oh, well, looks like the interceptor has some capacitor problems. For some reason it stopped in space. Well, yeah, the interceptor had some capacitor problems over there. I guess it wasn't a very good idea to tackle a Bhaalgorn, especially within its lethal range, but I'm not going to complain. Those were some nice kills. A little bit later, the rest of the fleet landed. I did tell my buddies to go and warp away from the gate, so they are going to be safe. I did stay at the gate to draw fire. Okay, time for me to jump through the gate because my allies did warp away to safety. Now, you might be wondering what was inside of that Nereus 2. Well, we missed 3 Sister of Eve debris. We actually destroyed the debris within the ship. They did not drop, unfortunately. Well, a big loss for both the Nereus pilot and for us. That was at least 1.5 billion, I believe. Kinda forgot how much the debris are being sold for at the moment. Alright, well, on to the next target. This Raven is a big bait. Well, it was obviously a big bait. At least 9 other ships have appeared in the system. And of course, I am the primary target. I mean, everyone is after the bounty on this Bhaalgorn. Not quite sure if it's 1 billion ISK or 10 billion ISK. I've seen both numbers being thrown around. So, I don't know. I don't have a definitive answer to that at the moment. Alright, well, it is good that I am the primary target. I can take some hits before having to warp away or jump. I am buying time for my allies to warp away, but not quite sure what they're waiting for. Alright, they are warping away. Alright, good. Well, I did my job. All of us survived this one. So far we are doing pretty good. And this was recorded before I changed the rigs on the Bhaalgorn. That's why it went down so quickly. Alright, well, we have 12 in local. Also have received intel about another fleet coming through. And well, I decided to see what ships they will throw at us. There's a chance that they drop capital ships. I'm excited to see more of them. So I'm going to sit at the gate and see what happens. Okay, let's wait a little bit more. 14 in local. One is blue, the rest is neutral and red. Interdictor has appeared on the field. I am at the gate. I'm safe from basically anything at the moment. The intel did tell us that there are 20 plus ships on the way. Now the interesting thing is, the vast majority of these ships are neutrals, while the other 7 or 8 in this system are red. And so far we only see neutrals jumping through this gate. This tells me a couple things. First thing is that this is a big bait, because I know how they work. There is a reason why the other 7 or 8 are not warping to the gate at the moment. Most likely because high chance that 2 or 3 are in capital ships, or the capital ships are waiting for Sino to open and to jump through. Overall, I should be good. We should be good. Let's take a look at what ships they brought. I see Abaddon, I see interceptors. They have logistic ships, alright. Of course they have a bubble. For some reason they did not open the bubble just yet. The gate is not bubbled. That means they are most likely expecting more ships to land on the gate. Now you might be wondering, what am I doing at the moment? Well, honestly, I'm basically just testing out our opponents, trying to see what ships they have, and maybe I start blasting, who knows. I'm also trying to look at one good target here. Overall, I'm looking at the frigates as the primary target. I have been webbed, scrambled. There is a Nosferatu running on me, and 1 point. No tracking disruptors, which means my weapons are not affected. Alright, well, I see no capitals. No Sino has been opened. Interesting, and there is 21 in local, 20 of which are 19 of which are in the other fleet. This Mahler trying to bump me away from the gate, not working as planned. Overall, our ships are holding out quite well. Now there is one succubus, I believe, running around. That might be a good target. I can quickly deplete its capacitor, web it, and then just destroy it in 1 or 2 hits. Although, if I do that, they might open Sino, and we might get jumped by a couple capital ships. Although, I'll be honest, it's very hard for me not to shoot anything in this situation, because our ships are holding out incredibly well. I only use 1 armor repairer, although I would prefer to have 3. With 3 armor repairers I feel very safe, and the other build that I will use is going to be even more tanky than this. Still haven't had a good chance to test it out. Okay, let me park my Bhaalgorn next to the Nightmare. Still 20 in local. Some of them are jumping in and jumping out. Not quite sure what's happening there. I'm very surprised that they haven't dropped a capital on us. Usually they do. Usually they drop a capital very quick. In this case they didn't. Wonder why. Okay, I'm still at the gate, still tanking all hits. both of our ships did sit here at the gate for quite some time. I expected the capital ship. Looks like we are not getting a capital ship. Our nightmare will have to soon go, so I'll also be ready to jump through the gate. Alright, let's jump through the gate. Well, interesting. I expected them to drop capitals, but they didn't. Very interesting. They were hesitant to drop capitals. They have engaged us on the gate. Now I'm the primary target. They have been webbed, pointed. My capacitor is getting neutralized. Dual neutralizers against my dual Nosferatus and neutralizer. But I believe that I will win the cap game in this case. It's a Bhaalgorn after all. A ship with the best E-war capabilities in the game. Dominic's is at 55%, below 50% armor. And they are now shooting at our bubble. I believe they also have a lot of stabs, so the bubble needs to be alive. If the bubble goes down, then they have a chance to warp away. Dominic's is now into hull. In this case, I did keep my range because I thought that it might be bait, but looks like it wasn't bait. And that was also a nice kill. Second Dominic's 2 today. Very interesting. 3.3 billion. Alright, not bad. That was so far a pretty good run. I have to admit, a very good run. Now we have received a report that a Scorpion undocked, so we are going to have a warm welcome for the Scorpion. They should be landing any second now. There they are, right on time. Okay, let's go approach the Scorpion before they land, just to be within the optimal range on time. Alright, there we go. 24 kilometers. That should be enough. Okay, they have been pointed and webbed. Looks like they don't have a lot of shield resistance for some reason. They are active. I can see that they are using the shield booster, but for some reason they don't use the shield hardeners. The shield went down very quickly on the Scorpion. And by the looks of it, they are using rapid missiles, medium rapid missiles. The Scorpion is one of the rare ships that can use medium weapons, because it has bonus on basically all turrets and I believe on all missiles. And they are now in hull. Nice, that was a nice kill. Well, today we sure did blow up a lot of battleships, a lot of expensive battleships. This Scorpion was pretty good. It did not have any Death Wish nanocore, but to have so many fleets chase this ship. The Bhaalgorn will eventually go down in Legends, but first I have to reach my goal with this ship. Same thing that I did with the Orthrus. Alright, what do we have here? Oh, nice. Apocalypse Strikers, Armageddon, and that's an interesting fleet setup. 3 Strikers and 1 tier 9 battleship. Well, guess who is going to be the primary target? Oh, and a Mahler interdictor landed as well. Well, you guessed it. The Bhaalgorn is the primary target. Typical. Typical, very typical. This has been the case for weeks now. Alright, well, I'm close to the gate in any case. Armor repairers up and running. I have dual armor repairers. Didn't have enough time to go and equip the third one, so I guess the dual armor repairers will just have to do. I have been webbed, scrambled, pointed. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere, that's for sure. They are attempting to ram me, I believe, but that was not good alignment. Both of these... oh, and a Tempest arrived as well. Interesting. Well, they are definitely not going to ram me this time. They had their chance, but I did move for... I did kinda anticipate that to happen, so I moved on time. So far I'm stable at 50% armor. Mahler interdictor has been destroyed or has jumped through the gate. I believe it has been destroyed. I'm reaching low armor. With a third armor repair, that would be fun. But dual armor repairs can only rep that much. Still did hold out quite well. Wish I had a third repair. It's usually moments like these where I don't have enough time to grab the third repair, or if I want to go full tank, then I would go with 3 armor plates, but I prefer armor repairs on the ship for a lot of reasons. Well, that was fun. Very surprised at how long this ship did hold out against 3 or 4 strikers and a battleship. The previous Bhaalgorn build with this exact setup did last literally 40% less. Oh, and there's the interdictor, so it did jump through the gate. Very lucky indeed. Bhaalgorn that jumped in. They already lost the shield. They are now taking some armor damage. Now they are burning towards the gate, and I have to quickly go and web the Bhaalgorn. Looks like I'll also have to... yeah, I'll have to ram the Bhaalgorn as well. Okay. They have a micro warp drive. They have been webbed and pointed. Let me try to ram that ship. Very rarely we see 2 Bhaalgorns. In this case, we have 2 Bhaalgorns, but 1 Bhaalgorn is the target. Okay, they are now into hull. It seems like that Bhaalgorn is not that tanky. Okay, I did manage to ram the ship. Luckily. Don't want them to jump through the gate. They have a lot of capacitor. But they will not have a lot of ship left, and they have been destroyed. Nice. Well, 1 more Bhaalgorn has been destroyed. Very nice. And let me go and grab the loot. There we go. Very nice. That was a very lucky catch. Very lucky catch. Okay, now let me go towards the gate, and hopefully we get more faction ships today. And I was just a little bit too slow. Well, that was a fail. That was a big fail on my part. I missed the Raven. Oh well, I guess can't catch them all after all. Well, let's go back to... we have a rattlesnake that has been tackled. This is where the Bhaalgorn is amazing. It's good for an ambush. It's basically an ambush ship. That's what Blood Raider ships are. And this rattlesnake is going to have a very bad day today. And by the way, not quite sure if I should have a bling counter going on there, because oh man, you're about to see some ships getting blown up, and you're about to see some big ships on grid as well. The rattlesnake is in hull. Looks like they were trying to burn away from the gate, but that's not working that well. Rattlesnake is now in low hull, and the rattlesnake has been destroyed. Very nice. Very nice first kill for today. Alright, well. Now that was a weirdly built rattlesnake, but that's fine. It's still a faction battleship. Alright. Next target, we have another rattlesnake, and we have some very fat ships with us. Let's quickly go and get within the optimal range. Oh, I am already within the optimal range. Let me just maintain 22 kilometers from the rattlesnake. They are now in low shield. Now the rattlesnake is in armor. The rattlesnake now in hull, and the rattlesnake was deleted by our revelations. Very sneaky revelations as well. You would laugh if you knew what kind of ideas we came with the dreadnoughts. At the moment you get to see two of them. Actually, you get to see more than just dreadnoughts. Interesting. Haven't seen the carrier there. So yeah, very beefy day today. That was also a nice rattlesnake kill. Next target, we have a Raven Striker that decided to go and crash our camp. But there is one thing that the Raven Striker pilot wasn't aware of. We have some very sneaky capitals, and well, the Raven Striker or the Golem is in some trouble here. They did tackle our bubble pilot, and the second the dreadnoughts appeared on grid, the Raven pilot stopped shooting at our bubble pilot, and they literally tried to burn to the gate. A little bit too late for that, so yeah. A very, very bad day for the Golem there. They're using the PvP fit, although that's not gonna help against 50,000 DPS. They have been pointed, webbed, Neutralizer and Nosferatu doing its thing as usual. That's a lot of target painters, and that Raven got striked off the grid. Oh man. Not quite sure how much damage they took there. I think they lost all armor and all hull in a second. That was kind of funny. So, lesson learned for that pilot. Don't attack a mug camp. You never know what can lurk around. Sometimes it's only 3 ships. Sometimes maybe like 2 or 3 revelations. You know, couple carriers. Maybe like 5 carriers. I don't know. Not quite sure what can lurk around here. Maybe a Titan when they get released. Who knows? I mean, people say that we are going to be the first ones to fly Titan, so that's left to be seen. Next target, we have a Typhoon 2. that is trying to run away. They're trying to burn away from the gate, although they have been webbed and scrambled. Now let me just approach to be within my optimal range. There we go. Now we are in range. They have been extra webbed, pointed. They are now in armor. And they got melted by our revelation. That was a massive hit, by the way. The Typhoon lost 50% of armor and 100% of hull in one hit from the Dreadnought. Very interesting. Very interesting. Well then, that was also a very nice kill. You know, we haven't actually been jumped in a while. We went, I think, 2 weeks without anyone attempting to crash our camp with a big fleet, or we haven't seen anyone try to camp our gate for a while now, and I haven't uploaded this because I thought that someone will try to go and camp our gate so that we can use the capitals, but seems like no one is coming for some reason. We have another target, we have another Raven Striker. You know, today a lot of the tier 10 battleships did fly in, and all of them were very nice, expensive kills. The Raven Striker has been pointed. They already lost the shield. Looks like they have a nanocore, although I'm not entirely sure. Maybe nanocore, maybe that's just the default look of the Raven Striker. And that was a nice kill as well. One more battleship down today. So far we have destroyed a lot of ships today. And that's also some nice loot. Should I loot? No, our first target today is a Stratios. We had some luck to decloak this Stratios. They have been pointed. Their capacitor is most likely already depleted, so that Stratios is not going anywhere. It is a tanky Stratios. Those ships have very good armor resistances, and it seems like that this Stratios had a very nice build. It did take a couple hits, and that was a very nice kill. That's how you make 1 billion ISK in 25 seconds. Well, again a very lucky catch. Not quite sure who uncloaked that Stratios. I wasn't that far away, but my drone could actually be the one who's responsible for that, although I believe it's one of my teammates. The next target, we have a Scout Nemesis 3 tier 10 bomber. Now I say Scout because I believe we are going to get some salt for that Stratios. We have decided to go and visit another system. This is kinda far away from our usual home system, and so far we did get some nice kills so far. Definitely not complaining about a Stratios kill. These ships are kinda rare. And well, a little bit later, my fears were confirmed. It looks like the Stratios did cause some salt. You can see this Daredevil doing laps around my Bhaalgorn. Now this Daredevil is maintaining a very close orbit. I believe this is a afterburner. They have one web, one small Nosferatu, one point. Seems like they lost interest in the Bhaalgorn, and they decided to go and Actually, what's going on here? Is my teammate shooting the Daredevil, or is the Daredevil shooting at my teammate? And they're kinda stuck at the gate. Well, let's see if I can set this Daredevil on fire. Although, uh-oh, well that's not looking good. That's a massive fleet. Let's see, ooh, we have some Abaddons. Well, not some Abaddons, we have a whole Abaddon fleet. Some other cruisers. Actually, 2 Daredevils and 1 battlecruiser, my apologies. So far no cruiser on the grid. Well, that did not end well, and I believe, yep, we lost our bubble. Surprised that... Now this is one of the rare cases where I'm not the primary target. In literally 90% of cases, I'm the one that gets set on fire first, but in this case it was our bubble pilot. That Daredevil was very lucky. I had a perfect opportunity to shoot it down, but the rest of the fleet did warp in, so risking that is not in the current plan. Although, if the Daredevil were stuck at the gate a little bit earlier, then that would be a dead Daredevil. But well, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's just how things go. And for me, it's time to jump. Got my hull scratched, 1% hull. That's okay. Usually, actually, it's not usually. It's in most cases I have the wrong build for the wrong situation. I really need 3 armor repairers for base drift there. Very interesting. And now I am landing on the location. We have a rattlesnake tackled. Excellent. What a way to start the morning with a rattlesnake target. Okay, they will be pointed very soon. Let me get within the range. The drone is out. The rattlesnake has been pointed and webbed. I don't need to orbit the rattlesnake with my micro drive. I would have taken the afterburner, but I literally woke up 2 minutes ago, so I didn't have enough time. I actually forgot to change my build. Even without the afterburner, I think I should be safe. I can tank a rattlesnake with the Ashimmu. This rattlesnake seems to have a nano core. Not quite sure which one, but it does have a nano core. Their shield is slowly going down. Let me pull back my drone. Not quite sure if the rattlesnake is shooting at my drone, although I can see that the rattlesnake is sending missiles towards one of the 3 drones that are on the field. Now you might be wondering, where are the rattlesnake's drones? The rattlesnake is using sentry drones. They are a little bit far away. And it looks like the sentry drones don't have enough range. Now, why are the sentry drones so far away from the main ship? I have no idea. But it works in our favor at the moment. The rattlesnake is now losing armor. And it looks like they decided to make me the primary target. Well, large missiles don't do a lot of damage to the Ashimmu. This ship is super tanky, and as you can see, my shield is holding quite well. It doesn't do a lot of damage. They are using rapid missiles, so that's the best weapon system that a battleship can use against smaller ships. But in the case of an Ashimmu, it just doesn't work, because, well, this ship is super tanky. Rattlesnake is now into very low hull. And the rattlesnake has been destroyed. Very nice. Okay. Well, that was a good first catch for today. A very nice target. Always a good sign when you wake up to a rattlesnake kill. Usually means it will be a very successful day. We have another faction battleship. This time I have the afterburner installed. This time I did not forget to change my build. And we have a rattlesnake. Another one. Okay. Now this time I warped a little bit far away. I thought that the rattlesnake was closer, but it turns out that they were closer to the mission. This one appears to be a little bit more tanky than the previous one. The Ashimmu with the afterburner will be faster once I change the rigs. I'm still approaching the rattlesnake at 50 kilometers at the moment. Technically my lasers have around 35 to 40 kilometers, but just to be safe I will go and I will orbit at the usual range that I orbit. This rattlesnake doesn't seem to have a nanocore. Okay, now I'm in the optimal range. Let's orbit the rattlesnake at 26-25 kilometers. And the shield on the rattlesnake slowly going down. I really like the beam lasers on the Ashimmu. But when we get ammunition, then there's a high chance that I will swap to pulse lasers because I would have the beam laser range. The rattlesnake is one of the tankiest battleships in the game. The second most tanky ship in the game. The first one is the Nightmare. Second one is the rattlesnake. Third one might be Nestor or the Bhaalgorn, not quite sure. The rattlesnake lost the shield, now they are taking armor damage. I did have the chance to see couple armor tank rattlesnakes, and they did not live long. Armor tank rattlesnakes go down very quickly. A rattlesnake about to enter hull. They are boosting shield, but not enough. Now they are into hull. Couple more hits and they will go down. They still have capacitor left. As long as the Ashimmu has capacitor, the Ashimmu has shield. Nice, alright. That was a nice second rattlesnake for today. Well, like I mentioned, if you wake up and if your first target is a rattlesnake, that usually means that the day is going to be very good. And so far, well, looks like my theory is proving to be true. Alright, well, let's go towards the next target. Now this is going to be a fun one. You can see a lot of ships in local. We have one of our ships at the asteroid belt tackled. In reality, everything is going according to plan. To be precise, my job here is to go and shoot down the bellicose covertops, and my job is to keep the battleships safe from any small frigates or fast cruisers. So my target here is going to be that bellicose covertops, bellicose in hull. Let me just approach, because the bellicose has tracking disruptors. The bellicose has been destroyed. Excellent. So we have 1, 2, 3 battleships, 2 ravens and a tempest. Alright, the next primary target will be the tempest. There was a interceptor, but the interceptor died before I managed to warp in. Okay, now I am their primary target. I'm being neutralized. My capacitor is being neutralized. And I have a Nosferatu on me. Looks like my capacitor will run down. Although I am tanking all the incoming hits from these ships without a problem. They are not going through my tank, although they are going through my capacitor. So I need to warp out and let the capacitor recharge. In this case, I would have usually run with dual Nosferatus, but because my job was to destroy small ships, I had to go with dual webs. With dual webs I can hold interceptors and cruisers. In this case, as you could see, it did work quite well. My mission was successful. Now we just have to shoot down the rest of the 3 battleships. I am coming back to the fight. Time to return. My capacitor should recover
Warp drive active.
to some extent until I land. I have like 20% capacitor, that is enough. When I land, when I keep my Nosferatu up and running, it should recover itself very quickly. Okay, the primary is still the same. It is the Tempest. Okay, let's engage the Tempest. The Ravens are the next targets. 1 cycle for the mic pop drive should be enough. Of course, I have to keep an eye out on interceptors and cruisers that might pop in. But until they pop in, I can keep on shooting the battleships. The Ravens have decided to make me the primary target. Although the Ravens are not doing too much damage, I can tank all of the 3 battleships. Tempest is now going down. Secondary target is going to be one of these 2 Ravens. The Raven that's taking more damage is going to be the next primary target. In this case, it is the first Raven, the one that I'm currently shooting at. Now these Ravens are built for full tank, and as you can see, they are quite tanky. My capacitor is slowly going up. I wish that I had a afterburner, but because my mission was to go and catch smaller targets, I had to use a micro drive. With an afterburner, my capacitor would be in a better shape. But it's doing well. so I'm not in the position to complain, to be honest. The ravens are still using the shield extenders, they still have capacitor. You will notice when the raven runs out of capacitor, you will notice them start to take a lot more damage. And of course you will notice that my capacitor is not going to be replenished by my Nosferatu, which happened, so time to switch the Nosferatu to the second raven, the raven that has capacitor. These ships are vampires for a very good reason, as you can see. Okay, Raven lost the shield. They are now into armor. The second Raven is pointed, so they cannot warp away. And the final target, the final battleship that's left standing, it's this Raven. They have been pointed, webbed. They're also built for full tank, so I expect them to withstand a good amount of damage. I like how I'm flying around through, casually flying around through an asteroid field. There are so many rocks around this ship. Raven losing shields. Raven lost the capacitor. Or no, they still have some capacitor left. In this case, the capacitor will outlast the ship. They are taking some heavy fire from our ships, and the Raven is now into armor. That means the Raven is going down. Surprised that my drone survived the fight. It is a faction drone. And the Raven has been destroyed. Very nice. Well, that was a very good fight. Our team did pretty well. Excellent coordination and excellent teamwork. And as you can see, teamwork in this game usually leads to a good victory. Alright, what do we have here? We have a Maelstrom and we have a Tempest. Are they going to engage? And there is a interceptor that is 1,600 kilometers away from us. Well, they jumped through the gate. Very interesting. What is going on here? They have returned. And yep, looks like we're about to have some fun here. They locked me. Okay. The bubble is their primary target, or so it would appear. Yeah, they are shooting at the bubble. Okay, that's actually interesting. Usually I'm the one that gets set on fire, but this time our bubble is getting shot at. So the primary target is still going to be the Tempest. Let's see if this is a bait for a larger fleet. Well, I guess we're about to find out. Oh, let's see. Our bubble pilot is safe. I gave the warp command because we have a plan for these two battleships. Okay, looks like they are built for heavy. They have heavy nodes. They have large nodes. They have a lot of nodes for some reason. I guess they decided to go and cap the Bhaalgorn. Well, let's see if my capacitor will last. My shield seems to be in good shape. They seem to be doing... well, they are not doing too much damage. That's that's for sure. They have no webs, although they have a lot of neutralizers, like I did mention before. Okay, well, they are still shooting at me. Excellent. The bait is set in place. Of course, the Tempest is still the primary target. That little interceptor is trying to do something, although they're not quite effective at it. My capacitor holding out. Okay. If I need capacitor, I'll just use my Nosferatu on any of these ships and I'll have capacitor. So far everything seems to be under control and the big boat has arrived. Excellent. That means it will be time to open fire. The primary target will be the Tempest, as I did decide when they engaged us. They stopped shooting. That's interesting. I don't have to use my armor repairers anymore because I stopped taking damage. Tempest is the primary target. They have 1 minute timer. Tempest slowly losing shields. Tempest is now into armor. Tempest is now into hull. That Tempest is falling down very quickly. Tempest has been destroyed. Now let's go after the Maelstrom. And the Maelstrom did wait the timer until the end and they jumped through the gate. Well, nice. That was a nice little trap that we have set for them. I did pick the Tempest for the primary target because the Maelstrom was too tanky, so it would survive the minute of the timer, but the Tempest was already capped and, well, was a easy target. Alright, well, let's go towards the next one. Now, here it was obvious that we were getting jumped, and again, everything was already sent into motion. We already have a lot of plans and tactics on how to deal with other fleets jumping us, and well, you're about to see something very funny happen here. Now they are in warp. We are patiently waiting for them. The bait, well, you can already guess who the bait is. You already know who the bait is. In 90% of cases, the bait is the Bhaalgorn. Okay, Abaddon has landed. We have a Mordu frigate. The Mordu frigate has 3 points. Okay. We have more ships landing. One Raven Striker did show up on grid. I believe they also have some command battle cruisers. Okay, let's see if that's all of them. I think more are still on the way. Alright. I'm taking some damage, but that's fine. I am the bait after all, so let's wait a little bit more. Okay, more ships are landing. Sniper did land in the sniping position. Excellent. They are trying to ram me, but kinda missed. That Abaddon is, by the way, very fast. Probably using a micro updrive. My armor is so far going down slowly. I have only dual armor repairers, but should do the job. And well, in the meantime, while they are busy shooting at me, they lost the Mordu frigate. It got sniped, and now the Ferox command is also getting sniped. And while I jumped through the gate, the Ferox command has been destroyed. So they lost 2 expensive ships, while they didn't shoot down any of us. That was actually very funny. That Mordu frigate did not see the sniper coming, and the Ferox command also did not see the sniper coming. And well, this is why you don't go and try to kill the Bhaalgorn, because that's usually not a good idea. Now let's see how much damage I'll do on a battleship. 36,000. First hit, almost depleted the shield in 1 hit. And this Machariel has the Neon Ray nanocore. Well, it is a very good looking Machariel, that's for sure. Although they have some good resistances as well. I have modified my build a little bit. I have 1 tracking computer and 1 micro warp drive, but the rest of the modules is the same. Machariel is now into hull. Target painters do help really well so far to help hit battleships, battlecruisers, cruisers, you know, things like that. And the Machariel has been destroyed. Very nice first kill. Well, that was a nice kill mill. Let's take a look at this. 5.2 billion, my apologies. Not bad. The loot fairy wasn't quite generous to us today. The Machariel carried 3 faction drones. Oh well, I guess that's okay. Next target we have another Machariel. Dual tracking computers. This Machariel is moving, so the accuracy will be a little bit lower. And I should activate 1 tracking computer per hit. That's something that I need to get used to. A little mistake, but in the end it's not that serious. If you want to make a dreadnought miss your ship, then orbit. Dreads have very poor tracking, and if they are in siege mode, the tracking will be impacted as well. So the best thing to do is orbit. That way the damage that your dreadnought will take, the damage that your ship will take from a dreadnought will be vastly reduced. Now what do we have here? We have a Armageddon and Raven that have jumped us. The primary target is the Raven, secondary target will be the Armageddon. The Armageddon might actually be going for the gate. We will see what will happen. They have locked me on. Raven is now into armor. The Armageddon is actually approaching me. Okay, that's interesting. Raven lost armor. 1 more hit on the Raven should be enough. Secondary target Armageddon. Raven has been destroyed. Let's focus fire on the next battleship. I think they're actually burning to the gate. Well, I guess not. They actually engaged the dreadnought. Interesting. First hit, and the Armageddon is now into armor. They are using 1 neutralizer and dual Nosferatu, and they're definitely using a reactive armor harder, because the damage that I'm doing has been greatly reduced. My friend has rammed the battleship, and I did miss the second shot because the target was moving. Second hit, 8,000 damage. Okay, they have a good tank, that's for sure. I would say they also have 1 damage control. Second hit, the armor on the battleship slowly going down. The next hit should go into hull. That was a big hit. They are still repairing armor, but the hull has been severely damaged, and 1 more hit should be enough to shoot down the Armageddon. Nice! That was a nice kill. Not quite sure why the Armageddon decided to engage. I think they could have easily jumped through the gate. Not quite sure what happened here. I think we got jumped, but it did not end well for the battleships. Okay, let's go to the next little fleet fight. Now, originally, I planned to use the revelation for this. We have been expecting the incoming fleet for 1 hour. But unfortunately, I made a little mistake, and they have seen the Cloaky Dreadnought. And of course, they decided to dock up. So I swapped to the Bhaalgorn and returned to the gate. And of course, they warped back. And we have one Malar Interdictor, Armageddon, Apocalypse, and a Tempest. Primary target will be the Armageddon. Secondary target will be Apocalypse. And the next target after the Apocalypse will be the Bubble. Although I see the Bubble is trying to burn away, so let me point and web the Bubble while I focus fire on the Apocalypse. Or in this case, I guess I will focus the Bubble while I will use the Nosferatus and Neutralizer on the Apocalypse. The Bubble has very nice armor repair, but the Bubble has been destroyed. Next target is the Prophecy. They have a very nice armor tank. I believe they also use the damage control with adaptive and reactive armor harness. Basically a very nice armor tank based on how much damage I do, or should I say how little damage I do to the armor of those battleships. Apocalypse has been destroyed, and the last target is the Tempest. They have been pointed and webbed. I maintained a orbit around these ships with the micro warp drive enabled at all time. Basically, this is how I fly cruisers. This is how I fly the Ashimmu. The Bhaalgorn works very similar to the Ashimmu. They both share the same orbit range. This is a very tanky Tempest as well. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 battleships, and we are having some trouble to go through the armor of the Tempest, but eventually they have been destroyed. Very nice. Good fight to the team. They did well, and I have to say they were brave for actually a ship that you should use against a Bhaalgorn, but I will maintain a 30-kilometer orbit around that vampire, and that should hopefully keep me safe from the webs. And hopefully that should keep me safe from the Nosferatus and Neutralizers. Although, if my capacitor gets destroyed by the Bhaalgorn, I can easily just warp away. That's why it's going to be very important to keep the 30-kilometer orbit around this ship. Now, my orbit is going to be 30 kilometers, but you will see that my disruptor will turn off from time to time. That's because the orbit isn't exactly 30 kilometers, but as the fight goes on, the orbit will stabilize itself at 30 kilometers. And I will be able to keep the point on the Bhaalgorn, but I will not be able to use the webs. If I get in the web range of the Bhaalgorn, I am in some serious trouble. Of course, if they decide to shoot at me. As long as they don't shoot at me, I should be safe. Okay, they are locking me on. They are now into low armor. I have the drones on me, and the Bhaalgorn is shooting at me. But it looks like they have problems tracking the Ashimmu at this range with the afterburner. They are now into hull. the Bhaalgorn is slowly going down. Wait a moment, why did my ship go below 30 kilometers? I don't remember changing the orbit on the Ashimmu. Well, I'm getting torn to shreds. Okay. Am I going to lose the Ashimmu? That's the question. Well, thankfully everything ended well. Not entirely sure what has changed my orbit to 24 kilometers, but it's okay. That was one very expensive Bhaalgorn. 16 billion. Wow. Might very well be the most expensive Bhaalgorn that I have ever participated in shooting down. Well, that was a nice first kill. Oh. They have a Abaddon, a logistic battlecruiser, and the Bhaalgorn. Okay. Well, that's not looking good. Yep, that's not looking good. And my shield is getting destroyed. The Abaddon is a sniper.
Warp drive active.
And I would say the Abaddon is built for DPS because my shield got torn to shreds very quickly.
Warp drive active.
Well, honestly, in my personal experience, I haven't had a fair 1v1 in maybe 6 or 7 months, maybe even a year. All 1v1s that I have been invited to ended up being traps, so I practically did account for this being a trap. There was also it's always risky to do this. Okay, we have destroyed one enemy Bhaalgorn. That leaves us with the Abaddon and with the logistic battlecruiser. The Abaddon is definitely a sniper with beam lasers. The Abaddon has warped out. I will try to catch the logistic battlecruiser. They're taking heavy damage. They're going to armor. And unfortunately I wasn't fast enough, so the logistic battlecruiser has warped away. Well, I think I could have, if I had the micro updrift, I would be able to move faster, but I have the afterburner for now. Quite a bit. But even that build should be really tanky. Now the next target today will be a Vindicator. By the looks of it, this Vindicator has the Ascension core, or the chips core that I like to call it the chips core, because on the Garmur, on the Spacepan, and on the Orthrus, the Ascension core does look like a piece of chips. And speaking of chips, I'm getting a little bit hungry, although I'm recording at 1 AM and probably should not be eating at this late hour. Okay, let's take a look at the Vindicator kill. Should also be pretty solid. 4.3 billion. And oh no, oh god. Yeah, why? I have a lot of questions about the build on this thing. A very cursed build. Adaptive harness and an armor tank. Really? Oh man. Well, let's go to the next target. We have one Ashimmu. The Ashimmu is burning away from the bubble, and for some reason I didn't do much damage, and well, the siege mode was disabled. Now looks like the Ashimmu is using a afterburner, although they were moving at a bad angle, and I was able to hit the Ashimmu without a problem. If the Ashimmu was moving left or right or orbiting, then I would probably miss. 2.9 billion Ashimmu. This Ashimmu was used for exploration, very interesting choice. And they had a tier 4 rig. I was wondering why the ship was so expensive, and it's because of the tier 4 rig. I haven't seen a Ashimmu being used for exploration. This is definitely a first for me. Usually all the Ashimmu that I see are built for PvP. Next target we have an Apocalypse Striker, and that was a very satisfying 55,000 hit. Left the Apocalypse Striker in about 30-35% armor. Second hit grazed the armor, so that means I am not going to do much damage. And the third hit, 23,000. Now here I will stop shooting and I will give the kill to my friend, because he has to complete the Conquer missions, and I already completed that, so I will enjoy the fireworks. And in the case that the Apocalypse does wake up, I will shoot, but I trust my corp mates. They're all really good pilots, and I'm pretty sure that they would also like to get some kills, and I'm more than happy to give some kills. A 2.2 kill Apocalypse Striker, solid loot drop. Quad webs, yeah, this is a pretty scary Apocalypse. Quad webs will slow you down, and quad webs will make those beam raiders hit. Next target we have one rattlesnake. 27,000 hits on the rattlesnake, and the ship is now into hull. We have 2 dreadnoughts and a bunch of other very nasty battleships that are also really scary. Do not want to fight Blood Raider ships. They are still terrifying ships to fight. 4.9 billion rattlesnake looks okay. A DPS build, okay. We did not get the Predator web or the... Uh-oh. I have a bad feeling that this rattlesnake might be very cursed because of that one explosive pump rig. Well, then let's check out the build in more detail. Oh no. Yep. Anti-explosive pump, a loading bay, and a shield rig. Alright, well, this was perhaps one of my longest videos that I've ever made so far. I actually forgot how long the last year's video was, but they do keep getting longer and longer every day for some reason. In any case, I really hope that you enjoyed, and overall it is a pleasure to play this game with you and for you. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you in 2023.